the last story we have to talk about in our news segment tonight is I don't know how to feel about this other than negatively. An 80s cult horror classic is getting a remake from Robert Pattinson and the Smile director. That's right, everybody. They are remaking Possession. I don't even want to try to pronounce the director's name. Horror is riding on the crest of a wave right now, but there's always room to dip into the archives and remake a classic, right? Possession, the 1981 supernatural horror from director Andrzej Zulawski, is being remade by Smile director Parker Finn, with Robert Pattinson on producing duties. According to The Hollywood Reporter, it's not yet clear if Pattinson will appear in front of the camera. Oh, he definitely will, and he will be playing the Sam Neill part. We're not retarded. Only that his acting involvement will be clarified down the road as the script and schedules develop. The outlet reports that multiple distributors, A24, Netflix, Paramount, Sony, and Warner Brothers, are all vying for the project. Who do you think he'll go with?
Ooh,
Robert Pattinson's going to be involved in this decision. I feel like he might go. Oh, he might do Warner Brothers because he's Batman.
Oh yeah,
He might have a relationship with. He might just have a relationship. Tremling says hasn't. I mean, they haven't asked him back. Oh no, that episode is still up. Oh okay, and they invited him to come back on, but he hasn't. Gotcha.
Okay.
So Pattinson, meanwhile, is leading Boon Joon-ho's sci-fi movie Mickey 17, which sees the actor portray copies of Mickey Barnes, an employee sent from blah, blah, blah. Actually, we missed a news story about this. They're delaying the movie's release until next year because the studio isn't happy with the cut of the movie, and they want to go do reshoots and make it more palatable. Just so you know. So Bong Joon-ho is having a great time over in America right now. You won an Academy Award, buddy. What did you think? You're going to be able to make little Korean movies forever? I don't think so.
No.
Trummick says, there isn't even an actress as attractive as Isabella Anjani anymore. This might be true. So you've seen Possession, I assume, right?
Yeah, and I'm like looking at Andrzej Zulawski's filmography here, and I think it is the only one I've seen of his. Maybe I've seen The Devil at one point. I don't know.
Did he do Gothic?
No. Gothic was Ken Russell.
Oh, Ken Russell. That's right.
Yeah. But they are very similar in terms of like how they approach their films. No, I watched Possession on a whim. It's now become this kind of film meme now, where it's like, oh yeah, if you're a goth girl like film fan, like that's one of your favorite movies. Like
because the Liberation.
Yeah, exactly.
Isabella and Johnny freaking out in the subway. That's the first thing I ever saw of that movie.
Yeah. But I've always loved it. When I first watched it, because it is just so chaotic, and I think the standout is really just the absurd choreography involved in the movie, and just how. Yeah, it puts you on edge the whole time.
and it's a purely allegorical film. Like it's almost because it kind of doesn't work on normal logic.
No,
in terms of how anything happens, it's almost borderline absurdist. And I don't see the point in remaking that. Like, how are you going to remake that? In fact, Robert Pattinson himself was kind of in the male version of Possession. It's called The Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is, kind of a modern parallel to Possession in terms of what Possession is about, because it's about, Possession specifically is more just about the end of a relationship. It was spurred on by the director either getting cheated on or somebody he knew got cheated on. And they told this story about his wife cheated on him with an older man who was very kind of well-to-do and educated and literate. And it made him feel bad. So this was like his way of working through his divorce or something. It's a wild fucking movie. I mean, the last act of Possession alone is worth watching on its own. Like, watch the last half hour of Possession.
Also, some really underrated like practical effects too, which I still like go back to, like this, like in Possession, and then in like things like Eraserhead and stuff like that, where like things that you just don't get made in that style or quality, and in that shadow.
You can't remake that.
No.
Like, imagine somebody remaking Eraserhead.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What the fuck? You can't. It's like literally impossible to remake it. Like, so much about what makes those movies interesting or what makes them work is like the complete holistic context of which they were made in. Once you start removing things, like then you start removing the meaning. You start removing connection. Now we're just going to be discussing some sort of intellectual idea. Like Possession is about raw emotion.
Yep.
It's about how it and how what relationships can do to you, and how you can lose yourself and lose your identity, and kind of striking back against that. And it's a kind of like the movie is like a manifestation of what goes on in your head when you're fighting with your wife.
Yes.
Like that's what it is. And there is no reason to do that again. Like in the same, there's no reason to make a remake. Like, do you want to make something that's like inspired by whatever? Sure. There's other stories to tell. You can tell your own weird abstract allegory about your divorce.
Sure.
But it's so personal to the director. I just don't understand what the point of remaking it is. You know, without that direction, without everything that the film is imbued with from their lives.
And, just
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying like, and even if we're talking specifics here, you're like every encounter with that couple, or even when they're on their own, you know, is always kind of different. Like it's always a different dynamic, and then there's also like they feature these like moments where it's like you're basically visualizing and seeing their self-loathing in real time as well.
Yeah,
like it's not even like they hate each other or they can't live with each other or they can't work together. They can't even work with them. Yeah, like you said, like they're losing themselves because they can't even work with themselves. Yeah,
they're losing their minds. You're watching people go crazy, and it's a very experimental. It's very novel. It's not for everybody. Like it's not a movie you can put on. I mean, most people that I show Possession, which I actually finally own a copy of. I bought it from Umbrella when I got the Super Mario Brothers 4K. Although Umbrella does not do HDR, guys. I'm a little bummed about that. But it comes with like a book full of essays. It comes with a movie. I dove deep into this when I got it a couple months ago. And I really, honestly, I just have no clue what the fuck they're thinking, why they think that would be a good idea. It's like tempting fate. It's like Max Landis saying that he's going to remake A Werewolf in London.
No,
remember when he was going to do that,
Right.
He wrote a script. The script is out there. He actually was on a podcast and he described the script. He told the story, his version of it. I can't really remember what it was, but he definitely changes some stuff.
You just can't turn this into what would be converted to modern standards in general. Like if this was supposed to be a modern day film, it would suck.
Well, because the guys, are they going to allow the men to be like, are they going to allow the Sam Neill character to be like that in 2024? I mean, that guy, he's aggressive, but it doesn't shy away from having empathy for him.
No, yeah. That's the nature, I think, of or at least the cultural nature right now of a lot of movies, or especially the Oscar contenders or the big A24 jumps, is that like, no, they're going to reconstruct that character and not make him as empathetic. They're going to find a way to...
No, he'll just be a bastard.
Yeah.
And it will lose the point of the fucking movie. And that's what's going to happen, dude. I can just already see it. I mean, it's already pretty... I mean, like, I think, at the end of Possession, it's like... I guess it's kind of ambiguous to what the director is kind of getting at, but I think he kind of thinks that his wife being seduced by, like, a demon is not a good thing. It's kind of a downer ending. Just saying. Let me see here. Trembling says, it'll be that plain Jane Dakota Johnson. Actually, dude, you know what? Don't will that into existence, because that's exactly who would take this role and who would be offered it.
After that Suspiria remake, she's probably on the list. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or that wet fart Zendaya. They might... Zendaya would be another one that they possibly would cast. It would be provocative. It would be like Robert Pattinson and Zendaya yell at each other for 90 minutes and have sex with a demon. Prophet says, I'd pay to see Zendaya make a wet fart. Trembling says, go to any zoo and you can see the equivalent. I'm sorry.
I was going to say real quick, I could also see Sydney Sweeney on that list too. She's expressed a lot of interest in horror. So,
Oh, I
Just
hope
putting it out
not.
there.
She does
But I
not
hope not.
have the aura.
No,
she doesn't
does
have the
not.
vibes.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I don't even know who the fuck would be good for that role.
Yeah.
You know who would be good, but she's not. I'm not saying this to be rude, but she's not the most attractive person in the world. But is it Tracy Cripps, the woman from Phantom Thread? She would have the chops, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Prophet says, all I can see when I'm fighting with my wife is a 55-gallon oil drum. Weird. What's that about? What are you looking up?
No, I was looking up Tracy Chris. I was like yeah, that's probably I can see that.
No, I could see her because she's like, as an actress, is a good actress. I mean, she's phenomenal. And have you seen a Phantom Thread?
I have, but not since it came out though. But I really did like it. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great. One of my wife and I's mutually favorite movies. Oddly enough.
Yeah. It gets me stressed out for marriage, but I'll learn along the way, you know.
Yeah, but it teaches you the most important part about marriage, which is compromise.
Yeah.
This is allowing yourself to be vulnerable.
Right.
Allowing yourself, and like they literalize it in that movie by the fact that she's poisoning him.
I was gonna say, just don't roofie my drink, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, then we'll be okay. We'll be good. Yeah. So I guess that's gonna do it for that. I don't understand that. Do you have any closing thoughts about the remake of Possession?
I just want to know where Robert Pattinson's where his head at is these days, because he's riding this Batman train at the moment, but he's still choosing the occasional project that's a little bit different. You know, Nolan picked him up.
He's in the Bong Joon-ho movie.
Right, yeah. So it's just like he's one of these more popular actors now again, who's making this resurgence.
And I will say, I don't mind Robert Pattinson. Actually, I think he's actually kind of matured into a good actor.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great in The Lighthouse. High Life, he was pretty good in that.
He was in a movie called The Rover with
who
am I thinking of? Australian actor.
Yeah, I know too. Man, we're just batting 1,000 tonight. Oh my God, it's right here. It's a fucking Guy Pearce.
Pearce
and Scoot McNairy. Yeah, the Rover's
right.
The Rover's pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty good Australian.
And good time. Yeah.
Australian post-apocalyptic movie.
Right.
But yeah. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, maybe it's a little bit. He thinks it's interesting. You know, he finds it to be like, oh, that's provocative. Like, what if we fucking remade Possession, guys? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe I get. What if
the
we
vibe
just
I get
fucking
is,
did it, dude.
Yeah, what if we just fucked in the Criterion Closet right now? How about that's like the
Dude, I watched an interview with him, like one of those actor on actor interviews, and he was talking to like Jennifer Lopez, and he's such a creep. He just doesn't want to be there. He's completely self-absorbed and disengaged. He showed up in a frumpy, like rolled up suit. His hair was greasy. He doesn't look like he'd showered in days. Jennifer Lopez is there trying to be all prim and proper. I think she had made the movie Hustlers at the time. Mm-hmm. And she got embarrassed because somebody apparently on the crew told Jennifer Lopez that Robert Pattinson liked Hustlers so much that he watched it twice. So she said that to him, and he said, oh, no, I only watched it once. He didn't even have the self-awareness to just lie. Just be like, yeah, I watched it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought you were great. Like, he couldn't even do that. He was just like, no, I didn't watch it twice. I think I barely watched it once. I thought he probably didn't even watch it.
Well, baby steps, Robert Pattinson. You're not quite at Shia LaBeouf's level yet, but maybe you'll get there at some point. You know,
someday. Dare to dream, buddy. And Abel Ferreira, actually one of our featured directors tonight, will put you in a Padre Pio-like movie. You know, he's gonna make a couple more before he dies. Let's see what he's got. Maybe we can do one about Don Bosco. There you go. Just saying, those stories are out there. All right, so we're going to head into a little trailer talk. We're going to be talking about the trailer for the remake of the film Speak No Evil. Speak No Evil is is it a Swedish film?